Yo guys, welcome to Travel Truths with us, TruTravels, a brand new podcast. Obviously, it's a bit of a shit time for the travel industry at the moment. We haven't been able to get out there and explore the world for the past 9 months. So let's talk about the good times. We won't simply talk about travel, our best experiences, and our bucket list destinations for the future. We'll be speaking to people from inside the travel industry, be it CEOs, tour guides, small business owners, and avid travelers. We'll be hearing their stories and opinions on the world of travel. We are TruTravels. We're a tour operating company. We tour across Southeast Asia and Latin America, and our aim is simple: life-changing experiences, game-changing travel. My name is Dom. I'm the business development manager here at TruTravels. In the past few months, I've worn a few different hats, and I now find myself hosting this brand new podcast. I'm super excited to talk to people from across the globe, and I can't wait to hear some awesome stories. We won't simply talk about travel. We're going to get some cool guests on. If you've got some awesome travel stories and you think you'd be a good fit for the pod, then please get in touch. David Attenborough, that's where we want to get to. And there's a lot of people in our way before we get to that point. So David Attenborough, if you're listening, hit us up. Today's guest is TruTravels legend Amer, who's joining us from the Philippines, part of the TruTravels family. Many of you guys will know Amer if you've been out on tour with us in the Philippines. We talk about tour life, his journey, his 2020, and why the Philippines is the hot destination that needs to be on everyone's bucket list. This is Travel Truths with us, TruTravels. Sit back, relax, we're ready for takeoff, and enjoy the ride. Shit, was that a bit cheesy?
Wait.
Amer, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, man. Very well. Amer is live joining us from the Philippines.
Yay.
Whereabouts are you at the moment?
I'm currently in Manila, like the capital of the Philippines, for those of you who don't know.
Amer, I've written down here, TruTravels legend from the Philippines.
Wow.
I'm not sure what your official title. You've obviously done a lot of stuff for us before. You're part of the TruTravels Philippines team, ex-tour leader, operations, done a little bit of everything. It'd be great to hear your journey and obviously where you're starting and stuff. What's life like at the minute in the Philippines?
Right now, obviously, there's still a bit of lockdown or some sort of protocols that needs to be followed, but we're not on very strict lockdowns. I would imagine not a lot of Asian countries are on very strict protocols, but we do have protocols that we have to follow, such as wearing mask and face shield and social distancing. But we are allowed to go out and do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
I.e. going to pubs and, I don't know, malls and groceries and stuff. But travel restrictions vary from one island to another because we have 641 islands. So
I think I put that in a quiz question before. It was a very typical
did
quiz
I get
question.
it right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, because that would be shameful.
That would be shameful.
Yeah, but yeah, so we have different rules as per different municipalities and cities, but in general, we have to be vigilant and careful. In general, that's pretty much it.
But the pubs are open.
Pubs are open. Unfortunately, yes, bars and pubs are open with proper social distancing protocols that every bar is surprisingly complying with.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we haven't had the pubs open here for 2 months, I think it is.
Oh,
sad times, but hopefully
I know.
just around the corner.
But
we've got a drink here anyway.
Yay!
So
cheers to that.
How do we say cheers in the Philippines?
We usually just say cheers, but if you want to be more traditional, we say tagay.
Tagay.
Yeah. So tagay.
Tagay. Awesome. So yeah, no, it sounds like things are moving a little bit in terms of the Philippines, and hopefully we can get tourists going again and actually head back out there on terms of some trips. I was meant to head out there, I mentioned on a previous podcast, in March 2020, and obviously I was just at the line, so I'm desperate to get back out there, and I'm sure you guys are desperate to run some tours as soon as we possibly can.
You have no idea.
Yeah, absolutely no idea. Well, how's the past year been for you in general?
It has been a roller coaster kind of ride. surprisingly, it was mostly good because it was one of the things that I don't know. I kind of considered as like a blessing in disguise. I wouldn't have discovered things that I like. I've discovered things about myself that I would have never discovered if not because of the pandemic, or if I wasn't given the opportunity to, I don't know, look back and reassess my life and my decisions in general. And I've unlocked some skills that I didn't know I had in me. And yeah, that's pretty much mostly good, I would say. I
Yeah.
know it's kind of like unfair to say, but even though it sucks for most of, I mean, it sucks for everyone really, but I don't find it as bad because even though there were some really low times, and I mean really low times, but there were some pretty good times as well, and like really good ones. So it was a good mix, but mostly good for me. And I'm the kind of person who likes to think be on the positive side. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think it's also just a matter of perspective and your how you look at things in life. And I choose to be on the more brighter side. As much as possible, I want to be spreading positivity and good vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Good vibes only.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're all about.
Exactly. That is it. That is it. So you've been you in Manila the whole way through, or?
So I just got here about 3 weeks ago. I was living in Siargao for most of 2020. Siargao, for those who don't know, is the surfing capital of the Philippines. So it's basically living in paradise. So white sand beach, surfing, wakeboarding, driving around with literally millions of palm trees.
Oh, very
Party every
jealous.
now and then. Yeah, party every now and then. But I've had some wake up calls, and I want to go back to Bali because I've lived in Bali for a year before,
Okay.
and I want to go back. And so I had to come here in Manila to update my passport and get my visa. I would normally not need a visa to get there, but because of the whole pandemic
Yeah.
situation, um, everything is kind of like changed.
Hmm.
But yeah, but that's it's still in progress. But like I don't know how it's gonna go, but that's the plan. And now I'm just in Manila enjoying the city life. It's a good change. Most people would say it's not as good as compared to living in Siargao, but I would agree, but it's a different kind of good. Again, we're looking on the brighter side. Always look on the
Yeah.
brighter side. It's a new change, but I'm quite enjoying it, surprisingly. Yeah, so far so good again.
Yeah.
Basically.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, beaches and palm trees and surfing. That sounds like a decent 2020.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That sounds okay. Did you pick what skills did you pick up? Baking, cooking, reading?
Well, not to brag on gloat, but I've always been a good cook. I
Yeah.
did bake a lot. So I've made my very first pie in 2020, and it was the bomb. Um I I've always had, the I've always had a knack of like cooking, and I find it's very creative and very therapeutic for me. When I'm in the kitchen, I'm in the zone. Like I don't think about anything else but making everything perfect.
Yeah.
The right spices, the right amount of salt and sugar or whatever.
Yeah.
So
It's so
it's kind of,
therapeutic, isn't it? It's such a nice
yeah, it is. It's a good
takes you away.
it's a good escape. I brush up on my Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah, because I studied Spanish for 2 years, but I haven't been using it. So it kind of like got lost because if you don't use anything, then it just kind of like gets the back of your head, and
Yeah.
you kind of tend to forget everything. But I kind of brushed up on it, and I don't know if I did improve. I haven't had the chance to actually practice it with a lot of people. I do have some Spanish friends in Siargao, but obviously they also want to speak in English. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like I have to be in Spain or somewhere in our Latin American countries.
Really immerse yourself really to get that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what else? I've connected with people that I haven't talked to in a long while. One good thing about the pandemic is that you tend to reassess who you've been in contact with and who you haven't touched up with for a long time. And it's another blessing in disguise that I was able to scroll through my contacts and, you know, think and realize that, oh, hey, I haven't talked to this person in a long time. So maybe now is the right time to check up on them. So I did a lot of that, catching up with friends that I haven't had a chance to hang out with or catch up with for a long time. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very wholesome 2020. What's the cooking wise? What's the go-to dish?
Ooh, I really like using I like baked stuff. So from baked chicken and what else? Well, there are some really good Filipino dishes that I always go for, like chicken adobo, but I love just making use of an oven because obviously Filipino food are known for being oily and greasy, and basically we are obsessed with oily and fried stuff.
Yeah.
So we're very Americanized, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
But I try to shy away from that sometimes. So I like to using the oven and baking and stuff. And that's obviously why I'm only 20 kg as of the moment, and I'm trying to lose a few more.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah, that's basically
keeping healthy. I remember you did a cooking takeover, didn't you, on our Instagram?
Oh my god, yes, I did. Yeah. I did cooking live stream for the TruTravels account. I did a chicken adobo. So it's a bit greasy, but I've used the least amount of oil because when you cook chicken anyway, it releases some natural chicken oil, which is healthy.
Okay.
But yeah.
Awesome. Wicked. But yeah, no, it'd be great to crack on and sort of learn about where you're at now, and obviously your link with TruTravels. But to begin with, it'd be great to take it back to where it all started. So where did you grow up? What was childhood like? And where did your career aspirations come from to become a tour leader and to get into tourism?
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is gonna be a long ride. But so I grew up, I was born and raised in a small town in the Philippines where it's basically a Muslim community. So it's called Lanao del Sur. And so I was born and raised as a Muslim kid, and I grew up with 4 moms and 33 other siblings.
Wow.
And my dad is so my dad is still married with legally married to 4 women, because in Muslim culture it is you are allowed to marry 4 women as long as you can financially support everyone, basically. And so it's a very different culture and a lifestyle as to where I am now, or probably as compared to most people in the world. So growing up, I've always felt like I wanted something more in life. I wanted to see more things in life. And I think I was groomed by my mom to be an achiever. So in high school, I was always, I wouldn't say always, okay, maybe always in top um, 10 like students in high school. And then I've always felt like I wanted to achieve more things and greater things. So I moved to a bigger city for university, and I finished my business administration degree in 3.5 years, because I took SEM off. So basically finished it in 3.5 years. And I had this goal in life that I have to get a job right after university. And I did. As soon as I finished uni, I got a job in a bank, and it was good. I had a lot of good colleagues, and we were having fun and stuff. And then I wanted to. I think my entire life I've been what is this, programmed to always want more.
Yeah.
So when I finished my uni and I had my job, I feel like I've reached my goal. So I've set another goal for myself, and I wanted to have my master's degree. So I enrolled in in, into an MBA program. So I quit my job in a bank and got a job in a government office. So I enrolled in my master's in business administration program, which would take 2 to 3 years. But I was able to finish it in 2 years, and while still having a job in the government. And yeah, it was going well until I realized that I wanted something more again. So there
Okay.
was no sort of contentment for me because I was looking at life in a different way, in a completely different way as to how I look at life right now. And I feel like I'm always chasing for something greater. And it came to a point where I thought to myself, where does it end? Or where does my wantingness for something more ends or stops? And obviously there's no stepping from that, but I just want something like a sense of fulfillment for me.
Yeah.
And when I graduated from my MBA program, I went traveling around the Philippines without any sort of travel plans outside the Philippines. So I went to different islands. We have so many islands to choose from. But yeah, so I started traveling around the Philippines. It gave me kind of like a very different perspective in life until I it was October 2016 when I first got into Siargao Island. And Siargao just hit me in such a different way that it felt right. It felt like home for me. And that was just the first time I was there.
Wow.
So yeah. And then I was like, all right, this is such a special place. So I had to leave because I had to go back to my job. I had previous appointments and meetings and seminars that I had to attend to. And then I came back November. So basically less than a month of leaving Siargao, I came back. And again, it just felt right. I felt like I belonged in that very small island. And again, because of my job, I had to constantly leave. So I left again after 2 weeks. And by December, I came back again to Siargao and they never left. So I basically left everything just to be in that small island and just to live in that island.
And that was
luckily,
2016?
That was 2016, yes.
Yeah.
And then I stayed there until June 2017. And obviously, when you're living on a small island without any regular income coming in, you tend to run out of money, and that's obvious. So I had to go back and make some real money in the city. And because I stayed in a paradise island or a tourist destination, you meet these new people, travelers more specifically, that has been to so many places and countries in the world that shares their travel experiences. And for me, that kind of played as an inspiration for me, because you hear them say how great Vietnam is or Thailand is, and you kind of think to yourself that, okay, I want to experience that. I want to be there.
Yeah.
So after just a few months, I think it was January 2018, when I first left the country, like the Philippines, and I was with a friend, and we were going to celebrate her birthday in Vietnam, and I didn't know anything. I knew, theoretically, I heard stuff about different countries in Asia, but I didn't do enough research. So I went to Vietnam in January 2018, and that was my very first out of the country trip. And it was a very life-changing thing for me because yeah, because I wasn't expecting anything, and I thought it was gonna be, oh, it's just another Asian country. So I was expecting it to be very similar to what we have in the Philippines, and I couldn't be more wrong because as soon as I stepped out of the airport, it was freezing, like it was 5 degrees, and I didn't know that Vietnam has a winter season, like especially up north. So that was something new for me. It was bad part on me because I didn't research, and I wasn't bringing anything. Like I didn't bring enough like thermal jacket or anything because I came from.
Were you in shorts and a vest?
Yeah, basically I was in a short and a vest.
Yeah.
And I was freezing in the airport, but I told my friend, "Oh, let's get out of here because it's freezing at the airport." I came from an island in Siargao, which is very warm, and by warm I mean 38 to 40 degrees.
Yeah, wow.
Celsius. So it's very warm, and it's usually just sunny the entire day. So it was a very spontaneous trip for me because I arrived in the Cat Ba Island in the northern part of Vietnam, and I literally walked into a hotel and asked them if they're in need of some sort of assistance, like a workaway program. It was a hotel running tours around Halong Bay, so I asked them if they need any sort of assistance, and I told them about my job experiences, and it was surprisingly easy to get a job in Vietnam as long as you speak English.
Yeah.
You look Asian. Well, I wasn't trying to teach English, so it was kind of easy for me to get one because I could be Vietnamese, and then people are going to think I'm a local, and I could communicate with a guest. So I got the job. I stayed there for 2 months, and then went to Malaysia to meet up with my best friends that I've met in Siargao, and went to Bali where I've met people who then gave me a job in Bali to manage villas and hostels in Bali. And I think I stayed in Bali for 6 months because I was managing villas and hostels. But eventually I kind of like got tired of the whole scene of it all. And then I had a talk with one of my best friends, Riza, who was working for TruTravels that day.
Okay.
And yeah, so she told me about a job opportunity for TruTravels, and I honestly didn't know much about TruTravels then, but I didn't even look it up, as she just told me that it's a travel industry kind of company, and I was like, okay, like sign me up. Where do I go? So I went back to the Philippines, and literally I think I only spent 7 days in Manila, and then I was already flying back to Thailand to do my training for TruTravels.
Wow.
I didn't know that I would love traveling so much until I've been with TruTravels, that it basically gave me a new perspective in life and how important it is to live in the moment and see more of what is out there.
In terms of like your family and stuff, when at this point when you were however old, 23, 24, saying my career is going to be in travel, I'm going to be in the travel industry, what was their reaction to that, your family?
Oh my God. The first reaction that my mom said, or so did my dad, was like, did we do something wrong? Or they kind of felt like it was their fault that I was, moving away from the life that they have expected from me, because they obviously spent money for my education, which I am extremely grateful about, but it just didn't give me the fulfillment that I found whilst I was traveling. And it was a difficult conversation for me to have with my parents, because they wanted me to have a stable job. They wanted me to be in an office doing the 9 to 5 job schedule. And TruTravels, we live in a very like unconventional lifestyle.
Yeah,
And
it's not a typical 9 to 5.
no, definitely not, definitely
No.
not. And it was a very difficult adjustment, and I don't think my parents have actually fully adjusted to my new lifestyle that I'm currently living in right now. But yeah, I guess at the end of the day, it is what it is, and you know what you want in life, and it's it's up to you whether you want to live someone else's expectations of you, and or if you want to live your life
Yeah.
as how you want it to be, because ultimately we all just want to be happy, and we all just um want to follow the things that makes us happy. And I think that is true for everyone in this world, that
Yeah.
we do things that makes happy, and if it doesn't, I think people should reconsider, because I don't think you should be doing things that makes you miserable,
Yeah.
because
No,
life is too short for that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely agree. And I think yeah, that's very powerful. And I think, like you said, traveling almost seemed to light a spark for you, and you discovered traveling that first trip to Vietnam, and then from that point, it sounds like
Oh, it
traveling
never stopped.
was a part of you.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't know it until I've experienced it. And that's why I kind of like them saying never try, never know. Because if you never try new things, and how would you know if you actually don't like or love
Yeah.
doing this very specific thing? And yeah, my whole life, I've had this vision of how I want my life to be. And it was graduating and with honors, and graduating with great grades, and getting an office job, because it is what was expected of me. And I did get those things. And then when you do kind of like reach it, and you still don't feel fulfilled and happy,
Yeah.
then there must be something wrong. Like,
Yeah.
you must be doing something wrong, and you might reconsider, straying away from that, and trying things that are completely out of your imagination. Because I would have never thought that I would be where I am today. I would have never thought that I'm the kind of person who travels and who backpacks, because I grew up, with a very boxed expectation and a boxed
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So it was kind of difficult for me to get away from that. But yeah, basically,
Awesome.
it's life is full of surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally agree. With the it'd be good to obviously move back to TruTravels, and obviously how you started as a tour guide. So you're there in Shergao in 2018, was it you said?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I started running tours for TruTravels, October 2018. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Did it come natural to you?
um, obviously, it, I've always felt like I'm a very sociable person. I think this is true for most true travel ninjas, or true travel tour leaders. We are just naturally sociable.
Yeah.
And if you don't think about what you're doing as a job, because we normally love socializing, and then
Yeah.
it becomes more natural. I don't want to be just a tour leader. I also want to be their friend. So in order for them to be my friend, I have to be more natural. I have to be 100% who I am. And that's just what I did, because people sense when you're being a dick, when you're being 100% fake, when you're doing it as a job, and you're trying to please them. I'm 100% um confident to say that I didn't just gain guests, but I've gained a lot of friends. And I say a lot of friends, and I still get in contact with, even though our tour was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really, really, genuinely consider them as a good friend of mine.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think again that's what we say at TruTravels, isn't it? That like the tour leaders and the travel ninjas are more than just that. They're not just tour leaders, they are your friends. They are part of the group as well. Like we often say, if you look at a picture, you wouldn't be able to tell who was the tour leader and who was the guest, because everyone's just together having an awesome time and just hanging out.
100%. Like I don't have the statistics with me right now, but I am 100% confident to say that we are the best in the industry because of the tour leaders. We are not just tour leaders, but we act as a friend to all of our friends or guests.
That's so important. That's so important because you guys are the main link between the company and obviously the customer. So it is probably one of the most important people or the most important factors. So it sounds like you've been smashing
we are the most important. Come on.
From that side. In terms of your style of being a tour leader, is that anything like, do you think about that deeply, or do you just try and be yourself?
What do you mean style? I don't think there's a style of how to be a tour leader because we are very different. I could speak for myself. I can't speak for every other tour leaders, but I have been in other tours, and I must say we have our different flavors. So obviously people love pizza. I would consider myself as a pepperoni. Some other tour leaders are ham and cheese or Hawaiian pizza, but nevertheless, it's pizza and people love pizza.
Everyone loves pizza.
Yeah, exactly. So we are different flavors of pizza, and regardless of what flavor we are, some people are gonna love just pepperoni pizza. And yes, it's very different.
Everyone's different, aren't they? Yeah, everyone's got their own style. But I think across the board, a lot of our guys do have that natural energy, and I think you've got that natural energy, which is amazing. And I think you do have to have that. How would you say, is it hard to always have that natural energy and enthusiasm and energy, or times where you just
100%? When you're, and I think a lot of guests don't realize that we are still people, even though we are naturally, and we were hired because we were naturally sociable. They tend to forget that we're still human beings, that we get tired and we get annoyed at some stuff, and we can't help it. But we try our best to be 100% on our game all the time, even though sometimes we have back-to-back tours because of certain circumstances. And sometimes it is a bit more difficult to run a tour, especially when there is a guest that is being difficult and stuff, but it is part of the challenge. And I don't know, it's sometimes it gets easier, but at the end of the day, we have our own human frailties that we're not going to be 100% on it, because there are some external factors that we can't control that affects our emotions and our mood and our jolliness. But for the sake of being professional, we always try, and we always give our best, but it does affect us. And for me, I don't know about other tour leaders, but after tours, especially after a 19 days tour, I tend to shut myself out. I don't go out. I don't see other people. And for at least 5 days.
Yeah, I think a lot, speaking to tour leaders, I think a lot of them do that. I think it's put the Netflix on, close the curtains, and just like get in your own zone.
Like if I stay in Siargao and my friends who are my constant people in Siargao, they'd be like, oh my God, I've met this new person that I really want to introduce to you, that you actually love her or love him. And I was like, you know what? No, I'd rather just chill. I'm peopled out. I've talked for 19 days straight.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to socialize or see any other human being. I just want to be in front of my TV, my computer, or my phone, and not socializing, because you need it as a human being. You need some sort of chill time and downtime where you just collect your thoughts and reassess everything that has happened for the past 20 days. And I think it's only normal for you to have that space, because again, we're all human beings and we all need our own space.
Fast forward obviously to 2020, and you're sort of into the sort of 3 year mark of working for TruTravels. And obviously it sounds like that's been an amazing experience. What's a few highlights that you'd say?
The 2020. The thing is, like, I spent the New Year's with the TruTravels family. I went to Thailand December 27th and stayed in Thailand until January 17th because I wanted to spend with as time with my TruTravels family because I literally love everyone, and we were having such great times. And the Corona news was out there, but we weren't expecting it to be this serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was having such a great time, and we were having some meetings that make you think, oh my God, we are gonna go far. Like this is it. Things are happening. And I don't know. The first part of January 2020, I was like, this is gonna be my year.
Yeah.
I feel it because things were going well for me and the company. And I think for a lot of people in the company, and the company was doing amazing. Um, and I came back to the Philippines with a very fresh and revitalized and energized energy because I was like, you know what, we're going global, we're doing this and that. So
Yeah.
I was talking to other tour leaders in the Philippines, like, this is it. Like, we have to give our 100% again
Yeah.
because things are only going to go bigger and better from here. And then the Corona thing happened, and everyone was kind of hopeful about it until it just kept going on and on and on. And I'm still very hopeful that things are going to go better, and I hope everyone is because that's the only thing we can do.
Yeah.
And but yeah, things
Yeah.
are doesn't always work out the way you expect for it to go, but I guess it depends on how you look at it again. And yeah, for me, I just want to always go for the brighter side. I'm always looking forward to the day where we can be running tours again. I can meet new people again. And when I flew to Manila for the first time since the lockdown, I've never been happier being on an airplane.
I just wanted to touch on the Philippines as a destination because I'm not sure we've really spoke about like that in so much detail. Is like obviously the Philippines has become massively popular over maybe the past, I don't know, 2 or 3 years in particular. I think maybe the Instagram side of things, everyone's seeing like the beautiful shots out there. Why do you think it's done so well, and what is it that's so amazing about the Philippines?
Personally, because I've run tours in other countries and I've been to other Southeast Asian countries, I think our beaches are not as crowded as the other countries and they're very well kept. So we have really good, like beautiful paradise looking white sand beaches, and most Filipinos can also speak English. So tourists wouldn't find it really difficult to interact and ask for directions, or I don't know, like travel around the Philippines because it is really easy to get around. I mean, verbally speaking, because when you talk about the transportation, it can be difficult because you have to take buses, ferries, and sometimes airplanes.
Yeah.
And it can be very expensive for other people as well. But I think it's the whole vibe that we're not as busy as compared to Thailand and Bali, but we're not as empty as compared to other places as well. So it's just like a really good mix and a really good number of people, a crowd, wherein you can either enjoy the crowd, you have the option to enjoy the crowd or the serenity of the less crowded places. And we have so many options. Like we have the activity packed tours, and we have really beautiful beaches as well.
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to the people as well, because we're very hospitable and we're being known for being friendly and hospitable.
Yeah.
And again, the sights and the views are really beautiful.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
They look amazing. I think a lot of it looks untouched as well, which I think is what you were saying a minute ago. It feels untouched, and it feels like it's what Thailand maybe was 10 years ago, for example.
Yeah, for sure. We try to keep everything as natural and as untouched as it is, because again, people look for authenticity when they're traveling, and they want to be they want to see like the place as to how it used to be and how it is, as compared to like a very structured and very infrastructurally designed places.
Yeah.
Because most people would just like appreciate nature um as to what it is, because in Europe or America, everything is so um for lack of a better term, enhanced.
Yeah.
But for us, the nature itself is beautiful, and we try to keep it as it is, as to how it was developed and how it was discovered. So I think people appreciate that, the authenticity of it all.
Yeah, the sunsets, the sunrises and the sunsets look amazing.
Oh my god!
A few of the team in the UK have headed out there in 2020, and it looks unreal. For anyone that is searching for the most beautiful sunsets, I think the Philippines is right up there. It's probably hard to explain, isn't it, how beautiful the sunsets are?
Yeah, for sure. There's no words to properly describe it, and no picture to give it full justice, as compared to as being in the moment and like seeing it personally.
Yeah. What's your highlight of the tour? Like if someone's heading out to the Philippines, what is the destination or spot or activity that stands out for you as like, that is it?
Oh my god. So for the West tour, I would say the Castaway Island experience.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Because me and the guest have 2 nights in this really beautiful untouched island where it's just us, and we have bonfire, we have the beach all to ourselves, and it's away from civilization. We do have a Wi-Fi and everything, but we have cooking class, and it's very different. And I mean, 100% different as to what Europeans or Americans or other countries are used to living in. And it's a very immersive kind of experience.
Yeah.
And I love that. Even for me, like I've done it quite a lot of times already, but it always fascinates me, and it kind of amazes me as to how beautiful that place is in Coron. And for the east part, I would say Siargao, and I've lived in Siargao, is my home. But when people, and when I say people, I mean guests, arrive in Siargao and they experience the way how Siargaonons and how the people and the community lives, and they show some sort of appreciation to the place, it gives me some sort of satisfaction and fulfillment that other people see the beauty of this place, the beauty of the place that I consider home.
Yeah.
And when people ask me, and trust me, a lot of people ask me if it gets boring at some point, because I do these tours over and over again.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bore me, because people react differently to these places. And when you see people excited and fascinated and fall in love with a place for the first time, it gives you, I don't know, because I think it's because I'm with them. They consider me as the trusted fella, as the trusted person who would take them to these places, and they say, Amer, this is beautiful. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And when it's directed towards me, I feel the positivity and the energy they're sending me.
Yeah.
And it gives me so much satisfaction and happiness, and people don't realize how much satisfaction it gives me. And it's completely different. People react differently to these beautiful places. And regardless if it's all positive or not, and even if it's all positive, it's still very different energy. And I've seen tears, I've seen happiness and laugh, like, and it's still very different with every different people.
Yeah.
So it never gets boring because of those different experiences. Yeah, pretty much it.
Amazing. Yeah, the Castaway Islands look unreal. I did the Coast Rock National Park a few years ago in Thailand. It almost seems very similar to that. You're away from civilization. You're just plonked somewhere, and you've just got the natural beauty and your group, and it just looks amazing. So anyone that's looking for that getaway experience, check out the Philippines tours.
Oh my God, yes, everyone should. I feel bad for the people that hasn't experienced it, because I feel like that's just one for the books that everyone has to try. Everyone deserves that,
Yeah.
especially after this pandemic. Everyone has been depressed, very sad.
Everyone's owed a
people try
trip
to book it.
paradise. Everyone's owed a trip to
100%.
paradise. Yeah.
No, they'll be like, I feel like they'll feel like they're much better and like they're gonna see life differently when they're put in that very specific place, because it's just beautiful and very immersive. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
people should
like
try
we were
it.
saying, like times aren't easy at the moment, and 2020, early 2021 isn't the easiest time, but people are dreaming of these amazing trips and these amazing locations, and then when they get there,
Yeah,
it's going to be what they imagine.
yeah, 100%. I wish everyone could try it. Everyone deserves to try it at least once in their lives.
Yeah, exactly. But no, amazing. What's on the bucket list for you other than the Philippines? What's on the bucket list?
Oh my gosh. And a lot of people have asked me this, but it's always been constant for me. And Santorini, Greece has always been the top
Okay,
of
yeah.
my list. And I don't know, for some reason, I've always felt like I can't die without seeing Santorini, Greece. And every time I felt like dying, or I was like, oh, you know, when you have a really bad hangover, like, oh no, I think I'm gonna die. And
Too many rums.
and then and then I tell myself, you know what, I haven't been to Santorini, Greece yet, so I can't die. I need to fucking suck it up and survive through this hangover.
Yeah.
So Santorini, Greece is one of those things that pulls me out of my hangover, even the really bad ones. I just have this very sort of fascination about this place. I haven't been to Europe or anything, but I don't know, for some reason, Santorini, Greece is on top of my list. And when we did launch the Greece tours, I was like, oh my God, how fucking dare you? I'm like, how dare you release this and I'm not in Europe right now? Like,
but we'll get you there. You'll get there.
I know. That's literally one of my biggest dreams in life, to be. I think I can die in Santorini. I'd be like, and I'd die happy.
You'd be happy, yeah.
I know. I don't mind dying there. I hope I don't die there, but if I do, I would be like, okay, I died in a good place.
We got insurance. But yeah, no, amazing. But yeah, thanks a lot for your time. It's been amazing chatting to you about your journey and obviously where it all started and where you're at. And then obviously the Philippines in general. People need to check it out and head out there. But yeah, like I said, TruTravels legend. I think TruTravels is a part of you, which from what you said, TruTravels is a part of you. Your dog's called True, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I have a tattoo of True because I just love TruTravels, and I'm extremely grateful for all the experiences that True has given me. And I think the best moments of my life has been because of True, and I will always be there for True, my dog, and TruTravels because I don't know, it was kind of like giving my life a new purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always gonna be there, and whatever True needs, I'm there to give it, because yeah, I'm just like extremely grateful for all the experiences that I've experienced because of it.
Amazing. And yeah, that's great. But yeah, no, thanks a lot for your time. And like we said, hopefully later on this year we can get tours running again. And Amer will be out in the Philippines waiting for your tour with a drink. What's the go-to drink for you in the Philippines?
For beers, it would be Red Horse, which is £1, really cheap. But if you're more on the hardcore side, I reckon the Tanduay rum, which is also £1 for 375 ml. But if you want to go crazy, £2 for 1 liter of rum, a local rum, which is really good rum. Coke is more expensive, so that's one thing to think about and consider when you're going to the Philippines.
Yeah, awesome. No, I've heard a lot of things about the Philippines rum, so need to get out there and check it out soon. But yeah, hopefully I'll catch you in the Philippines soon, and hopefully the rest of the TruTravels guys will catch you in the Philippines in 2021, and we can get the show back on the road. But yeah, thanks a lot, Amer. It's been amazing chatting to you. Give Amer a follow on Instagram. What's your Instagram called again, Amer?
My Instagram is I'm here Amer. So that's I'm here. IMHERE AMER. I like to publicize and promote my Instagram as much as I could shamelessly. I'm not even sorry about it.
No, it's good. Your Instagram's amazing. The pictures are unreal. It's making me very jealous. I love your captions as well. You're the caption king.
I try.
Yeah. So give Amer a follow on Instagram. But no, it's been amazing chatting to you, and you've made me super jealous, and I really want to get out to the Philippines ASAP. And I'm sure that everyone listening is in the same boat. A lot for sharing the dream and sharing the vision.
Thank you, Dom. I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to express how much I've been enjoying TruTravels and sharing my experiences in life.
Amazing. How do we say cheers again?
Tagay. Yeah. Cheers. Tagay. Oh shit.
With that, I'm near enough done as well. Yeah. Awesome. Cheers, man. I'll catch up with you soon. But thanks again.
Thank you.
Legend. Cheers, man.
Okay.
Yo, guys, what an interesting story that was. Thanks to Amer for sharing. Personally, I can't wait to head out to the Philippines and to be chilling with a beer, watching the sunset. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. Let us know what pizza you are. I'd say personally, I'm a margarita. A little bit cheesy. Anyway, until next time, we'll catch you soon. Peace.